You feel it, even if no one says a word. You know, the stares, the glances, the way people's energy shifts the second you walk into a space. They notice you every single time. They see the way you move, the way you carry yourself, the way something about you feels different. And yet, what do? They pretend they don't. They act like you're invisible. They act like your presence doesn't change the atmosphere. But deep down, you know the truth. Everyone sees you. They just don't want to admit it. Why? Because admitting it would mean confronting something within themselves. You are a reminder of courage, a reminder of authenticity, a reminder of strength they abandoned long ago. And that reminder is uncomfortable. So they play a game, the game of pretending not to notice, pretending not to care, pretending you're just another face in the crowd. But silence is loud, and pretending is transparent. It's strange, isn't it? You never asked for this. You never demanded their attention. You never begged to be seen. Yet, no matter how much you try to blend in, you can't. The chosen one never blends. You could shrink yourself, dim your light, twist your soul into knots just to fit their mold, and still, your presence bleeds through. Still, their eyes find you even if they quickly look away. They know who you are, even if they won't say it out loud. That's the unspoken truth. Their avoidance is proof. Because when people go out of their way to pretend you're not there, it's because your presence is too undeniable to ignore. They see you more clearly than you think. In fact, they see you more clearly than they see themselves. But here's the deeper layer. Why do they pretend? It's not just envy, though envy is there. It's not just fear, though fear is real. It's survival. To acknowledge you would mean acknowledging the gap between who they are and who they could have been. And that gap is too painful. So, it's easier to dismiss you, to overlook you, to act like you're nothing special. But don't be fooled. Behind their indifferent faces, behind their careless tones, they are hyper-aware of you. You've probably noticed the pattern. Someone laughs too loud when you're around, as if to prove they're not intimidated. Someone talks over you, hoping to silence the weight you naturally carry. Someone avoids eye contact altogether, as though looking into your eyes might expose their own weakness. These are not coincidences. These are defense mechanisms. Everyone sees you, but they pretend they don't. And maybe this has left you confused at times. Maybe you've wondered, if they see me, why don't they acknowledge me? If they feel it, why don't they say it? But here's the truth. Chosen ones are not meant to be validated by the crowd. You are not here for their recognition. You are here for your mission. And that mission requires you to endure silence, dismissal, and the strange invisibility that comes from being too visible. It hurts, doesn't it, to know you're seen but not acknowledged, to know you're felt but not spoken to walk into spaces where all eyes turn to you, yet all mouths stay shut. But pain is part of the refining. This is how the chosen are prepared, not through applause, not through praise, but through the fire of being underestimated, overlooked, and denied. That fire forges you into someone who doesn't need validation to move forward, because validation is fragile. One day, they'll give it. The next day, they'll take it away. But destiny is steady. Purpose is unshakable. And your purpose doesn't depend on their words. It thrives in their silence. It grows in their pretending. because every act of pretending only proves the truth they're trying to hide. You cannot be ignored. Look closely. You'll see the cracks in their act. The way someone slips and reveals admiration in their tone before quickly covering it up. The way another person watches you too long, then looks away like they've been caught. The way even your critics study you, imitate you, try to copy the very things they claim not to notice. That's the irony. Even as they pretend not to see you, they're being shaped by you. Your presence lingers, whether they admit it or not. But this path isn't for the faint of heart. It's lonely, it's isolating. To be chosen means to be misunderstood. To be chosen means to walk into rooms where everyone sees you, but no one acknowledges you. To carry an energy so undeniable that it forces others into denial. And yet, that isolation is necessary, because it teaches you where your strength really comes from. Not from them, not from their voices, not from their recognition, but from within and from above. Everyone sees you. That's not in question. The only question is, what will you do when they pretend they don't? Will you shrink? Will you bend? Will you break? Or will you rise anyway? Will you keep moving in silence? Keep building in the shadows? Keep walking with destiny, even when the world pretends not to notice? That's the true test of the chosen one. Because here's the secret they'll never tell you. Pretending takes effort. Ignoring you takes energy. Looking past you requires discipline. And the fact that they go to such lengths is proof of your power. They don't waste that effort on just anyone. They only do it for someone who unsettles them, someone who shifts them, someone they can't deny. And that someone is you. So don't mistake their pretending for rejection. Don't mistake their silence for absence. Don't mistake their lack of words for lack of recognition. They see you. They always have. They always will. They just don't want to give you the satisfaction of saying it. But destiny doesn't wait for their admission. Purpose doesn't pause for their denial. You keep walking. You keep rising. You keep being. Because whether they speak it or not, the truth remains the same. Everyone sees you, and the time will come when pretending won't be enough. The time will come when your rise will be too undeniable, your light too bright, your calling too loud, to be ignored. And on that day, they will be forced to reveal what they always knew. But until then, let them pretend. Because their pretending is only proof of what they cannot hide. You are seen. And as they keep pretending, you begin to notice how transparent the act really is. They think they're hiding it well, but silence always cracks. Their body betrays them. The way their eyes dart when you speak, the way their energy stiffens when you enter, the way conversations bend around you like rivers changing course. It's all evidence, all confession, written in gestures they don't even realize they're making. You are the interruption to their comfort. That's why they avoid acknowledgement. Because acknowledgement means disruption. If they admitted what they saw in you, they would have to ask themselves difficult questions. Why don't I carry that energy? Why did I abandon my potential? Why does their presence shake me when I should feel secure? And those are questions most people aren't ready to face. So they pretend. They put on indifference like a mask. But their eyes tell the story, and the story is always the same. You remind them of something they lost. Maybe it's a dream they gave up. Maybe it's courage they buried under fear. Maybe it's the authenticity they sacrificed just to belong. When they see you, they see the version of themselves they could have been. That's why they stay silent. Because to praise you would mean admitting they betrayed themselves. But here's the paradox. Even as they pretend, they can't resist. Orbiting around you, they want to hear what you say, even if they act like they don't. They want to study your moves, even if they roll their eyes while doing it. They want to measure themselves against you, even as they claim you don't matter. Their pretending is exhausting, but it's also addictive. Because once someone has seen the chosen one, they can't unsee. You haunt them, even in their denial. And you feel it too. You feel the tension in the air. You feel the unsaid words, the hidden glances, the way people avoid your gaze because they know it's too raw, too exposing. You live with this strange duality, being hyper-visible and invisible. At the same time, it's a cruel irony. They see you more than anyone else, yet act like you're unseen. That duality can crush you if you let it, but it can also sharpen you, because it forces you to stand on a foundation no one else can shake. Chosen ones don't survive on recognition. Recognition is too shallow, too fragile. You survive on purpose, and purpose doesn't crumble when the crowd turns their eyes away. Purpose doesn't weaken when voices fall silent. Purpose grows in shadows. It sharpens in silence. It matures under pretending. That's why the chosen path often feels lonely, because your growth is happening in places the crowd refuses to look. And isn't it fascinating how some people will even go to extremes to downplay you? They'll ignore you publicly, but study you privately. They'll avoid praising you, yet steal your words, your style, your energy, hoping no one notices. They'll tell themselves they're original while wearing pieces of your essence like stolen clothing. They'll never give credit, but their imitation betrays them, because copying is the loudest form of acknowledgement, and the chosen one is always imitated, never duplicated. This pretending game is dangerous for them, not you, because pretending requires effort, and effort is energy. They're wasting energy hiding what they feel, while you're channeling energy into building, growing, rising. They're investing energy into suppression, while you're investing energy into destiny. Over time, the difference will show. Over time, their pretending will collapse under the weight of its own exhaustion. And when it does, the truth will be undeniable. But until then, you must endure the strange silence. The silence that feels like exile, yet is actually protection. Because if everyone who saw you admitted what they knew, the weight of attention might crush you before you were ready. Their pretending buys you time. It shields you from premature exposure. It hides you in plain sight until the moment destiny says now. So don't despise the pretending. Don't waste energy resenting it. Use it. Let it remind you that you are seen even when they won't say it. Let it push you deeper into your purpose. Let it sharpen your resilience. Because chosen ones are not crowned in comfort. They are crowned in contradiction. You must learn to live with being the most seen and the most unseen, all at once. And here's the lesson most never learn. When people pretend not to see you, they're actually watching you the most closely. They are gathering evidence. They are waiting for cracks. They are testing their own theories about you. That's why your silence, your endurance, your discipline matters. Because even in their pretending, they are learning from you. You are teaching without words, leading without recognition, shaping without acknowledgement. That's the hidden power of the chosen one. This pretending isn't harmless, though it can isolate you. It can make you question your worth. You'll wonder why they can't just say it, why they can't just admit what's obvious. You'll feel the sting of invisibility in the middle of constant attention. That paradox can weigh heavy on your spirit. But you must remember, they're not pretending because you lack worth. They're pretending because your worth is too undeniable to ignore. And that's what unsettles them. So let them play the game. Let them avert their eyes, force their laughter, talk over you, act like you're nothing special. Because pretending is only a delay, never a denial. They may avoid saying it now, but destiny has a way of exposing truth. And one day, when your rise becomes too obvious, when your light becomes too blinding, when your mission bears undeniable fruit, they will be forced to confess what they always knew. Everyone saw you. They just pretended they didn't. And on that day, you won't need their words. You won't need their recognition, because you'll already know their silence shaped you. Their pretending trained you. Their denial prepared you. What they thought was dismissal was actually the fire that refined you. And that's the irony. Their pretending, in the end, will prove to have been your fuel. And as destiny pushes you forward, their pretending becomes impossible to maintain. The cracks widen, the slips become obvious. Suddenly, the same people who once looked past you can't stop glancing in your direction. The same voices that stayed silent now echo with borrowed words, mimicking the truths you carried long before anyone else dared to speak them. You'll notice it everywhere. In the way they dress, in the way they speak, in the way they move. They're trying to catch up to something they once pretended not to see. But by the time they admit it, you'll already be too far ahead. That's the nature of the chosen one. You're not running their race. You're not bound by their timelines. You're not slowed by their denial. While they were busy pretending, you were busy becoming. And becoming is stronger than recognition. Becoming is louder than applause. Becoming is the quiet revolution that turns pretending into undeniable truth. Still, you must prepare yourself, because when pretending collapses, exposure follows. The same people who denied you will claim you. The same ones who overlooked you will rewrite history, insisting they always knew you were different. Their mouths will finally open, but not because of courage, because of necessity. Silence works when your light is manageable, but once it becomes overwhelming, they have no choice but to speak. And when they do, you'll hear the desperation in their voices. Some will praise you out of envy. Some will attach themselves to your rise, hoping your glow will cover their shadows. Some will cloak themselves in support, pretending they were with you all along. And you must discern carefully, because the chosen one attracts not only destiny, but parasites. You must learn to separate the genuine from the opportunistic, the true allies from the hidden leeches. This discernment will save you, because the weight of exposure is heavier than the weight of pretending. But here's the power you hold. You don't need their words. You never did. Their silence proved you before their recognition ever could. Their pretending carved strength into your bones. Their denial forced you to grow roots so deep that no storm could rip you from your purpose. That's why you are unshakable now. That's why their opinions, whether silent or loud, no longer define you. And this is the irony. The very thing they thought would diminish you, made you. They thought ignoring you would starve you. They thought pretending you weren't there would erase you. They thought staying silent would break you. Instead, it refined you. Instead, it taught you self-sufficiency. Instead, it drew you closer to the only source of validation that truly matters, the one within you and the one above you. So when they finally stop pretending, you won't crave their words. You won't beg for their acknowledgement. You'll stand tall, steady, knowing that your worth was never in question. You'll smile at their sudden recognition, not with bitterness, but with clarity, because you'll know that what they see now, you always carried. What they admit now, they always knew. Their pretending was never about you. It was about them. And maybe that's the greatest lesson. Chosen ones must learn to separate who they are from how others respond. Their silence, their pretending, their denial, none of it changes the truth. You were chosen long before they noticed. You were marked long before they admitted it. You were destined long before their pretending collapsed. Their actions don't make you chosen. They only reveal what was always there. So let them keep pretending as long as they need to. Don't waste your energy trying to convince them. Don't waste your breath demanding recognition. Don't waste your soul chasing acknowledgement that was never meant to sustain you. Instead, keep walking, keep building, keep carrying the weight only you were designed to carry. Because chosen ones are not defined by who sees them. They are defined by who they become in spite of who pretends not to. And when the pretending finally shatters, when the silence breaks, when the world can no longer deny what has always been true, you will not be surprised, because you knew all along. You felt it in the stares. You heard it in the quiet. You sensed it in the tension that wrapped itself around you everywhere you went. You knew everyone saw you. You knew they were only pretending. So stand firm, stand unshaken, stand in the fullness of what you are. Because pretending cannot erase truth. Silence cannot erase destiny. Denial cannot erase calling. Everyone sees you, even when they act like they don't. And that's the secret they'll never confess. Pretending was never about making you invisible. It was about hiding their own reflection in your light. And that's why you'll always rise. That's why you'll always shine. That's why, no matter how hard they try to look away, they'll always see you. Because the chosen one cannot be unseen.